What up, YouTube? It's your boy Pheezy. That's right, I'm back, and this is iLList Videos, Volume 3 for our monthly review. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I've been kind of busy these past few weeks, so I haven't been able to do the reviews weekly anymore. But, I'm back monthly. Hopefully I can stay consistent so I can build this viewership up and have everybody come in and be able to figure out what's going on from, my perspective about, things that might be going on in New York, in the world, pop culture, politics, art, all that. So, welcome back. If this is your first time viewing, I'm MF Pheezy. That's right. You can find me on Twitter at Pheezus Christ, PHEEZUSCHRIST, or on Snapchat at MF Pheezy. You can also find iLList Videos on Facebook and Twitter as well. That would be at iLList Media. That's iLList, so get that right, make sure. And I just want to welcome everybody. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about because a lot of stuff has happened in the past few weeks. So I just want to get right to it. Now, y'all know, if you don't know, now you're gonna know, is that I'm a huge motherfucking Marvel fan. Alright? Like, huge Marvel fan. Alright? Since I was a little motherfucker running around and shit. So, definitely always loved the Marvel, MCU, the Marvel movies that have been coming out since 2008 with Iron Man. And just been a huge fan since. And Captain America 3 Civil War just came out last weekend. And let me tell you something. This movie is certified iLList, okay? This is the best MCU movie that's come out, okay? Now, for all you viewers out there who may not give a damn about this stuff or whatever, I can't, I can't hate on you for that. Everybody, film is always subjective. So, whatever your opinion is, that's your opinion. That's fine. But this movie is an amazing movie, okay? An amazing action movie, an amazing superhero movie, an amazing psychological thriller, amazing, it's a great summer blockbuster, but it's so well balanced. I mean, there's so much in it. It's a 2.5 hour movie. It's really long. It's really packed. From start to finish, there's always something going on. As beats are hitting every 5-10 minutes. With each scene, there's always a purpose for it. All the characters are represented well. The Russo brothers, Joe and Anthony Russo, who directed it, they did the previous one, which is Captain America 2, the Winter Soldier. That was an incredibly balanced movie. Added a lot of things in there too. But this took it to the next level. This was an Avengers movie that was Cap-centric, but done as best as we've ever seen it. Best as we've seen of any sort of ensemble movie, and that goes beyond Marvel, in my opinion. Beautiful, so well written. It. Without Joss Whedon writing, which is what we're used to from Avengers movies, you kind of lose some of the beauty in the writing, because Joss Whedon is a beautiful writer, but in terms of directing a movie, the Russo brothers completely blow anybody out of the water. I'm just curious to see what other MCU directors will now do now that this movie is out there. They could say, oh, that happened. We need to step up our game. What are we going to do to be able to add to this, to be able to maybe top this? Who knows? But I'm supremely excited. I can't wait to get into the different things that I loved about this movie. I mean, it had sort of some parts of the movie had a similar structure to The Empire Strikes Back, and I consider this almost the Empire Strikes Back of the Marvel Universe. The New Hope to me was Avengers, or even Iron Man, but this was the Empire Strikes Back. This was a lot darker. The themes were very mature, very, very mature. So for anybody out there who says that the Marvel movies just don't have mature things, it's all jokes, it's all this, it's all that, No, this movie told you, like, no, like, you guys talk about being dark, and maybe your aesthetic is dark, or your costumes are a little darker, or, the tone and the music is just a little bit darker, maybe, but this had dark themes. I mean, we're talking about people killing people's parents, and people, killing people, just so many things happening that were just very violent and dramatic, in a very dark way. So, that argument doesn't hold up anymore. Marvel is doing this better than anybody. Okay. I mean, my favorite character in the movie was Black Panther. And most people's favorite character in the movie was Spider-Man. Spider-Man had two scenes of glorified cameo, very big cameo. I love Spider-Man in this movie. They made the perfect Spider-Man in this movie compared to what we've had for the last, like, 15 years, God knows how long. Um, I, but when they announced Spider-Man was in the MCU, I'm like, that's great, amazing, semi-dream come true. You think of it. But personally, I would have wanted maybe the Fantastic Four to come back. Ideally, that would have been the perfect thing to come back to the MCU. Would have been that. But Spider-Man, just watching him with these other characters, it was mind-numbing because it was so hard to compute for a second. You're so used to seeing sort of the same characters. Maybe they add one or two with every movie, or every couple movies they'll add a few more characters. But you know, this felt crazy. It was like two worlds colliding on the screen, especially during a huge airport battle, which I don't know if you guys have heard about yet. I mean, I'm not even going to go into it because I don't really want to do a spoiler-filled review of this movie. Maybe I'll do that in a second on a second video if you guys would like me to. Just let me know. I'll do a spoiler crazy review. So I don't want to get too much into it, but and just having Spider-Man in this airport battle, which was a big big comic book splash page, two teams of heroes fighting against each other using their powers. It was beautifully done. It was insane. It was like 17 minutes long. Spidey stole the show. Well, Spidey Cole stole the show in this scene, in my opinion. So, but Spider-Man was just amazing. I mean, it almost brought me to tears. Just every line he was saying, just how he was reacting to the whole situation was beautiful. But my favorite character in the movie was the Black Panther. Black Panther is one of my favorite characters of all time, period. That's it. I love the character. I love all the supporting. I love his story. I love his background. All of that. It was, always did. And I was so curious to see how Chadwick Boseman, the actor who played, he was from 42 and also did that James Brown movie. I was so curious to see how he would handle Black Panther, how the accent would come off, how the regality would come off, things like that. I mean, this dude pulled it off, and the Russo brothers just knew exactly how to introduce this guy in such a dynamic way. I mean, the first time you see T'Challa, who is the character whose alter ego is the Black Panther, and he's also the king of his own African country, Wakanda. I mean, the first time you see him is you see him in such a regal and humble state, and you immediately see the love he has for his father, who's the king of Wakanda, and how him and his father play into the plot of the movie. And then something happens, and it's just, it instantly takes the character like leaps and bounds. And then the first time you see him in the costume is for an action piece that was just crazy, and just watching him do Black Panther things, you're just like, whoa, this dude is no joke. And even whatever was coming out of his mouth, the things he was saying, you're realizing this guy is no joke. This guy is not, Paul Rudd is Ant-Man. This guy is not Tony Stark as Iron Man. No, this guy is legit. He's serious. Anything he was saying was just like, oh, okay, like, shit, this dude's a badass. And then, man, just it was crazy. And he had a plot line that just sort of punch through the whole movie like a battering ram, almost like the Winter Soldier in the Winter Soldier. Sort of his agenda, what he wanted to do, he did, and it just punched through what everybody else wanted to do. It almost felt like no one could stop him, which was so awesome, so badass, and it even continued all the way to the end, where it was actually, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna get into that because it's just spoiler territory. So I love Black Panther. I'm even more excited for this movie coming in 2018. I mean, this movie made you want this movie to come out like later this summer. That's how crazy it is. I want to get into more Black Panther talk, especially with his own movie, because there's been some casting announcements that have come out in the past few days, which is crazy. And then there was kind of this crazy Twitter thing that went on, but I'll talk about that in a minute. I just want to get back to the movie. Spider-Man, beautiful. The costume, beautiful. Iconic. The eyes, everything. They found a way to give Spider-Man the iconic eyes from the original Steve Ditko Stan Lee comics, and then to be able to, the eyes are able to modify themselves to be able to look like the John Buscema version of the Spider-Man eyes, which to me was just incredible. Like how, usually past Spider-Man movies, the costume always had one look, the eyes always had one look, and it was very specific. The eyes never changed. There was no emotive, feature to them, and that was something different here. He was only in for two scenes. Tom Holland, the actor who played him, the perfect Spider-Man. Okay, he's a younger kid. He's a little bit of a motor mouth, kind of a smart ass. He's a kid from Queens, right here, baby. Queens, represent. What? Oh yeah, and not just that, he's not just from any part of Queens, from Forest Hills, Queens, right here. Well, I'm in Regal Park, right next to Forest Hills. But anyway, this dude, like, they showed a shot of Queens. I feel like I fucking saw my house in Civil War as to where Spider-Man lives. Hit me right here. It did. I'm not gonna lie. I love it, man. Spider-Man, to me, always growing up, he was one of the heroes that made me fall in love with superheroes and Marvel Comics. So, being able to, Marvel knowing the character well enough, being able to touch back on that, that's something no other studio knew to do. And hats off to Marvel. I mean, so when they announced he was back, I was just kind of like, oh, that's cool. I wish it was a Fantastic Four, but, this is cool. And, they were like, we're going to have, Spider-Man Homecoming, the movie. And I was like, okay, look, I've seen 5 Spider-Man movies already, right? So I'm just like, okay, that'd be cool. I mean, it's done by Marvel. It's probably going to be just that much better. But this movie got me so hyped for this Spider-Man Homecoming movie that comes out next summer. I'm so excited. At first I was like, oh, it's actually stealing the release date of another movie that I actually kind of would rather see. A lesser-known character that, I just think would have been more cool as, like, a die-hard Marvel fan. Like, I love those things like they do. Guardians of the Galaxy and Iron Man, stuff like that. Like, they take C or D level characters and turn them into A-list. And I feel like every time they touch a new character, that's what it's going to become. Like, that's what I think Doctor Strange is going to become later this year. He's going to become this sort of D character that people are like, oh, who's this strange guy? And they're going to be like, whoa, this dude is crazy. And then they're just going to want to see him in Avengers movies, and he's going to have these crazy moments. So it's like Spider-Man, yeah, I've seen it, that's cool. Maybe it's just a cash-in. But no, this, you could tell, like, they're going to do it so right. And just, I can't wait to see a whole movie of Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Like, I can't wait. And it's going to be in Queens? Like, yes, please, sign me up. ASAP. Hurry up, Marvel. Getting slow at this. No, I'm just kidding. Y'all doing great. Especially because next year, Marvel is moving into producing 3 movies a year. Whereas, since up until then, they've only been doing 2 movies a year. So, gotta give it up to them. They're giving people what they want. And it's not just fan service. This is like party shit they're giving us here. So, thank you. The airport battle, I don't want to get too much into it. People have seen through the TV spots. There shouldn't be, is that Ant-Man is in this movie. Hawkeye shows up. I mean, Vision, Scarlet Witch. I'm gonna have to kill myself a motherfucking cat, yo. Be back. I just kill me a motherfucking cat. Nah, I'm just kidding. I didn't kill a cat. Especially my own. I don't kill cats. But kitty's just being bad. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. That airport scene, so much going on. You got all these characters involved. It was done so subtly, but so right. Each character had their moment. It was a little like, you felt a little bad watching these characters go after each other just because, hey, they're supposed to be friends, you know? But you give, you know, you couldn't help how cool it looked. It just looked so awesome. So, you know, all you could do was enjoy it. Some characters weren't as invested as others, which is okay because I think some of the characters didn't have the history they had with others, which is great. It allowed for some fun, lighthearted moments from some of the more lighthearted characters. And that's really all I want to say about this scene. There's some giant things in there that I just don't want to talk about much because you know, I feel like people should go enjoy these things in the theater themselves. You know, so if you have seen it and you want to see a spoiler-filled review of it from me, hey, let me know in the comments. Subscribe first, please. Like, let me know you want it, and I'll do it. You know. But other than that, that airport scene that goes down as probably one of the best action sequences I've ever seen in a film of all time. So there it is. Then there was the dynamic, I'd say, of the movie. The main dynamic was Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Tony. This sort of triangle. This sort of triangle of friendship. What the Russos did in terms of building the dynamics of the drama between the three of these characters, what they did in this movie with that was just mind blowing. For them to be able to weave it in and out of the movie, not just this movie, of the Winter Soldier as well, the first Captain America, all the other Avengers, all the Iron Man movies. I mean, for them to be able to do that was just amazing to me. They all put in great performances. Chris Evans as Captain America, Sebastian Stan as Winter Soldier, and RDJ as Tony Stark. They all did really great. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but just there is a good portion of this movie where you just have the three of them, and it made for what I consider the most dramatic moments in comic book history. I mean, maybe there's some things in The Dark Knight that can equal that, you know, but this was just, it was beautiful, beautifully done. It's amazing to even think about where they're going to go from here in terms of just those three characters alone, let alone everything else that happened in this movie. So, really looking forward to that. Please go check this movie out if you haven't already. Okay, so now we're going to go to this Black Panther stuff. Like I said, Black Panther's movie comes out in 2018. Directed by Ryan Coogler, who directed Creed, as well as Fruitvale Station. Speaking of Fruitvale Station, they just announced that Michael B. Jordan, who was in Fruitvale Station, as well as Creed, and as well as Fantastic Four and Chronicle. Awesome new young actor, new young African American actor, black actor. Yeah, I said it. You know, he's amazing, and he's not just a new young awesome black or African American actor. He's an amazing new young actor. Don't even want to do that. I'm not even going to service any of you out there. That's what he is. He's a great young actor. So he just got signed cast as a role in the Black Panther. As what? I don't know. I'll take him as anything, just to see him face off maybe against, Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. Yes, please. I do feel like anybody who has seen Civil War has come out of Civil War feeling like, yo, Black Panther, baby. Like, he is legit. Like, especially the adults, just because he's such an adult character, adult oriented, with so much responsibility and power. Um, Also, who's in negotiations to sign on to this film is Lupita Nyong'o, the Oscar winner. Um, and she's an amazing upcoming, new actress for the past couple of years. You know, this cast is just so crazy. So what happened was, I think it was yesterday, they had so it, Black Panther was trending on Twitter 2 years before its movie, which to me is unheard of. Um, the hashtag was Black Panther so lit, just because I guess people coming out of Civil War being like, "Yo, Black Panther movie's gonna be so lit." So trust me, I came out the theater thinking the same way. So people just going nuts with making gifs and shit about how they're gonna walk into that theater. People talking about they're gonna bring a wicker chair, put it down, and just sit and watch the movie like a king. I mean, it's gonna be a great movie. You can just tell. It's got them. It's got all the ingredients for what should be a classic movie. I mean, this movie has the potential, if it done right, to replace, as the top solo movie of Iron Man. You know what I mean? So this movie could just as great as Iron Man, and I think Chadwick Boseman has what it takes to do things just as well as Iron Man, as Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark. So I can't freaking wait for that. There's gonna be more casting news, obviously, coming out there. Who Lupita Nyong'o would play, I have no idea. Some was saying that it would be the love interest of Black Panther. I don't even necessarily want that. I wish she would play his sister, Shuri, um, who also takes on the mantle of Black Panther at some point. I mean, that would be crazy. That would be awesome. She's badass in herself, and my female cat's named after her, and my male cat's named T'Challa, just like the Black Panther, and that's before the damn movie. So don't even get any ideas of calling me some bandwagon jumper or this and that. I've been a mega fan since day one. All right, so I already got the Wakandan royal family living in my house. That's right. I support Wakanda. All jokes aside, though, this movie is going to be so lit. So look out. 2018. I think it's February, Black History Month. But as for that, then the getting away from Civil War now. We're gonna end the Civil War conversation, but we're gonna go now to X-Men Apocalypse, which comes out in a few weeks. Probably on the next video, it'll be out already. I will have seen it and do sort of a mini review of that as well. And the thing is you're getting the first Twitter reactions, the reviewers' reactions, critical reactions from this movie, and they're very, very mixed. I mean, and a lot of critics are just like, really shit. And some of them, they're just like, man, we don't really want to say it's shit, but it's kind of shitty. But there were some cool parts and some cool things, some cool characters, maybe. I'm still gonna see it. I want to see it. I don't, I've never been too excited about it. Apocalypse just kind of looked a little weird to me. And the Four Horsemen for him was a little, kind of a little off. And Mystique, I keep seeing her in sort of this leadership position role within there, and I know the only freaking reason they do this is because she's already been cast as what's her name by what's her name, and I'm sorry, I know she's an A-list actress, but and I actually like her too, Jennifer Lawrence. I like Jennifer Lawrence. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, Mystique was never like that in the X-Men universe, and the only reason they're doing that is because Bryan Singer does like to play to politics and likes to put this girl, in the forefront because she's an A-list name. He thinks it'll bring bodies in the seat. But really, the reality is, if you make a great story, the fans will talk this movie up and bring their asses in the chairs. So, they have all these younger versions of previously released characters. I think because they rebooted the universe to a certain extent. So Jean Grey, Scott Summers, all them, they've all been cast. You got Nightcrawler and Storm. Not really hip on this Storm. The one they cast as Storm. I feel like this is again another wasted opportunity to cast such an awesome character. And they just, I don't know. I have to see it. These are only my instincts, so I can't sit here and just go off of those. I want to, see the movie and form my own opinion. Um, I will say that I didn't think so highly as Days of Future Past as a lot of people did. So I don't know. I kind of wish they would reboot the universe again in a certain way. They were whatever they did with freaking Deadpool though was dead on. I mean that movie was certified ill. So maybe have Tim Miller who directed that just kind of reboot the universe. Please, I take it. Put that Colossus in there. Negasonic T. I don't even care, but whatever. Recast Wolverine. I just think they could use for a little bit of like a new take on it. Bryan Singer's take is kind of oversaturated the X Men history and cinematic history up until this point. I think he's just been on there too long. So switch it up. Get Tim Miller. Get somebody else. Somebody. Matthew Vaughn was a great breath of fresh air, but he's off doing Kingsman and all that, which is great too. Check that out. But so that's my concerns for Apocalypse. Onto TV news, Marvel, Netflix TV news, especially a few weeks ago, they announced that Punisher would come out with his own freaking show. Yeah, boy. What, boy? What, son? What? That's right. I'll stop. But Punisher, it's gonna be great. You already know just by how he was introduced in Daredevil season 2. It's gonna be fucking awesome. So you already know I'm signed on for that. I'm looking forward for that till day one. I'll be looking at whatever news comes out of that, I'll bring it to you. Don't even worry. God knows when it'll come out because they did come out and say that Jessica Jones season 2 and the Defender series would shoot back to back from each other. So that's all after Luke Cage, which is already done shooting and comes out in September of this year. Iron Fist, which is shooting now and probably come out like in March of next year. Then they're gonna shoot Jessica Jones season 2 and the Defenders, which brings them all together. They're gonna shoot that back to back, so that should be out probably later next year. I don't know when Punisher will be shot, and or if he'll be in the Defenders. So we got a lot of things to look out for. So we'll check it out. More TV news. A lot of cancellations happened in the past few days. ABC, CW, all those. In CW news, Supergirl has been moved from CBS to CW, along with where it could sit and mix with the Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow, which is kind of cool. I'm not big on some of these network superhero shows or just network shows in general. I just like to bring in news, but I heard that would be a good mix right there. So just for them to get involved with each other, that could be pretty cool. So yeah, but there's been cancellations. First, MCU news. Agent Carter had 2 seasons. Now it's done. Watched the first season. Really liked it. Took place in like an old Brooklyn, New York thing, which I love. That's my time, my era. I got a little thing for that. It was awesome. Then the second season, they moved it to Los Angeles. I was just like, okay, whatever. No hate on that. I still watched it, but it just, I don't know, it was kind of lacking something. And it definitely wasn't that, but it was just lacking certain things. Wasn't really into it. Not much was happening. It didn't affect the universe, I felt too much. So I just kind of was like a little lackadaisical about really keeping up on it and whatnot. I could see why it got kind of stale and just didn't get picked up again. It was also Marvel was developing another show with Mockingbird and Lance Hunter from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to do their own spinoff. And for months now, I was like, yeah, we're thinking of doing this. We're gonna do it. And they even sent the characters off in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and we're like, yeah, go do your thing. And now it's not getting picked up. So God knows what's going to happen with those characters. Maybe they'll come back in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Who knows? But honestly, I wasn't even that excited about it. So I'm kind of glad it didn't get picked up. Oh, my cats are so bad right now. Anyway, more TV shows that got taken off. The Muppets, Nashville, America's Next Top Model, and Castle, which was on for 8 seasons. So that's a lot of. There's gonna be a lot of Castle fans that are gonna be kind of upset about that. Um, Hopefully, the season finale for this season will kind of maybe give them a little send off. Because I always like to see. I know a lot of shows tend to have, um, big fan bases, and I know more than anyone that you don't want to sort of have a show end without being properly respected in terms of like, oh, it just ended on a cliffhanger, and you never get, you never get any finality with any of that. So hopefully, some of these shows are able to get their finality. Anyway, I think this is also a sign too that network television is kind of going down the drain. People are watching it less and less. The quality is just kind of it always borderline mediocre, and that the streaming companies are kind of taking over, right, with original programming. So look out, and this could be one of the next several years where you can just see a lot of shows just, and the networks realize that they might have to step it up or something, or figure something out. So. Political news. Since my last video, where they had the primaries and I was talking about the primaries and primary debates, which were by where I work downtown in Brooklyn. The primaries happened. New York has chosen Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump as their as the people to represent for the Democrats and Republicans in New York. All the other states have been going through it too. Trump is coming out on top. He's probably going to be the Republican candidate, which is sickening. And it's not just sickening, but I know it's sickening for a lot of people. There's also a lot of people that are really supportive of him. It's really weird. There's no middle ground for Trump. People either love him or they hate him. So that's going to be a little concerning. I think I want to do a video where I speak about how the concerns and stuff, or what's going to go on with this upcoming election. Yeah, sorry about that. Cash is just so bad. Anyway, so yeah, I want to make this video. I want to do a video. I want to do a video talking about Trump. Not just Trump, just Hillary as well. Once everything's solidified, I want to have a discussion piece with some other people, maybe bring some other people in. I know I've been saying that for a while. I just want to find the right people, that'll entertain you as well as me and themselves. But, smart people that'll be able to cover every topic in this and discuss every viewpoint of this. Look, I'm from New York City. Trump is from New York City. Hillary lives in New York City. But we feel very specific about them. And look, they both won the state. So that says something as well. God knows. But a lot of concerns going into the legit election for this president. A lot of concerns because, I mean, I know a lot of people will feel concerned just by having Trump on that bill. It's worrisome. A lot of people just consider him a celebrity. I just consider him a celebrity. I'm sorry. What is he going to do? Is he going to go into the White House and just fire everybody? Because that's what he does. He's going to go try and get into, like, world councils and just be like, you're fired, you're fired. And they're all going to be like, what the fuck? Not only how stupid is the American government now, but how stupid are the American people for voting for this guy? Anyway, I don't want to get too far into it, but it's definitely very concerning. So there's that. Now, on to other things, more lighter news. We're going to go into sports news now. Real quick, some people just aren't sports fans out there, and plus, if you're really trying to find news on sports, there's places to go for that. This probably isn't the one you want to go to. But I just want to do like a review real quick. The baseball season has started, as you heard from my first video. The Mets have creeped back into first place. Nationals had a hot start. Mets kind of didn't, but Mets just kind of stayed consistent, used their pitching, used their new hitting, and came back with a vengeance. Now they're kind of tired. I think they just went a game down, but that doesn't worry me. I'm sorry, it just doesn't, especially because they're gonna face off against Washington at some point too, and that could all just flip flop. But right now, no one else is really touching them in the division. And even in the National League, the Cubs are killing it. They're crazy. I can't wait to see them match up against the Mets. But right now, it's not too many other teams that could really, the Western Division is really, really mind-boggling. It's a little, they're all kind of all over the place. Um, but and then let's go into the Yankees. The Yankees are dead last right now. I think they're 2 games uh, 2 games down from the next from the 4th place team. And so I've never seen that, to be honest. I don't remember ever seeing that. I mean, I'm sure it's happened when I was younger, and I was never really a Yankees fan, so I never always kept on top of them the whole season through. And it's still so early. This is a marathon, not a race, right? But it's crazy how bad they're doing, you know? So, that's the Yankees. We'll see if they could pull out. Maybe, they got some months to pull out, even if it's slowly pull out. It's definitely not a desperation season, but they may have to make some moves at some point, right? 'Cause, all them, Brian Cashman and them, man, they got money they've always had money to work with, so hopefully they can pull it out, you know? Seattle's in first place. I got peoples in Seattle, so I like to represent. Seattle's in first place. Been talking to some of my family, man. They're really excited about that, and it's still so early, so anything could happen. But it'd be crazy to have a Mariners Mets World Series in my eyes, just because both teams kind of, you know, Seattle Mariners are kind of my American League team, but I bleed blue and orange, so we all know how that goes. But it would be kind of cool to see that. Um, a few weeks ago, the Rangers got eliminated from the playoffs, so uh, that's that. I'm not a huge hockey fan. I got some friends who are, and here in New York, we like to support either our Rangers or our Islanders. So, um, the Rangers got eliminated. It happens. They had a tough opponent. They got nailed. Um, NBA playoffs have been happening. It's been pretty crazy. Um, Golden State has had a historical year. I've seen some games that they played, and they're on a whole other level. Are they better than my '96 Bulls? I beg to differ. I can't say that they are, just because that was my team. That's what I grew up with, and they were on a whole nother planet. That team. Um, so that's how I view it. But this team is insane. Steph Curry is just bananas. Um, he has fully supplanted LeBron James. I'm sorry, but he has fully supplanted LeBron James as the best player in the NBA. I'm sorry, he has. I mean, he's one of the best shooters that ever lived, if not the best shooter that's ever lived. And that's time will tell. So, I don't want to. I would hope they wouldn't get eliminated at any point during this playoffs. And honestly, with the season they had, it would be a disappointment if they didn't just win the championship. So, uh, that's what it's looking like right now. I think at this point, we're still waiting on a Game 7 from Miami and Toronto to see in the East who's going to the East Finals. Could be Miami, which is kind of crazy because that would set up a Miami-Cleveland showdown in the finals, which is the team that, LeBron came from, he won a few chips with. And now has to face off again. He's going to go against Dwayne Wade. What? Can't ask for that, yo. Can't ask for that. We can't make that shit up, man. So, I kind of hope that happens. That'd be kind of ill. The Western Finals are already solidified in OKC and Golden State, which is crazy. OKC beat the Spurs. I guess the Spurs just didn't have it in them this time. I don't know. Maybe it's time for them. They're getting older, and they're a great team though, which is crazy. But OKC, they've been fighting for years, and they have a great team too. And one of the best players is Kevin Durant in my eyes, and Kevin and Westbrook. So it'll be insane to see those those two go up against Clay and Curry. That'd be awesome. That's a good finals. I mean, I think still Golden State's gonna own that. But just to see them be the second best, I agree. I'm with it. So we'll see. Next video we should probably be around the finals. So we'll know who won these conference finals, and we'll be having this conversation will be a lot more solidified as to who we're talking about playing who. Now, on to music news. I think it's Drake at #1 on the billboards right now. He's released an album. People really, Drake fans really loving it. I'm personally not a Drake fan. I like, my old school stuff a lot more. I'm a New Yorker. I represent all New York music that comes out of here. So I'm really kind of anti-Drake. I'm sorry if that turns people off, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and really shit talk the dude. I'm just not into this. It just can be a little fake to me at times, and the times that he is real, it can be a little, I don't know, a little lovey-dovey, a little soft and stuff, which sensitive, which is fine. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. #2, I think we have Designer. Who I like. I think he's a really good artist, so I'm kind of rooting for him. We got Justin Timberlake supposed to be dropping something this week or so. So I'm sorry, Drake, but I think JT gonna get that throne back. That's just my opinion. So that's always cool. And in terms of local music and whatnot, we got a lot of things going on in New York City this summer. A lot of free concerts. We got Public Enemy performing. We got some old heads performing at Coney Island later this year. I'll come out with, you'll hear more about stuff like that in my in future videos. Just for anybody local that wants to check out like the hot shit that's gonna happen in terms of New York music and New York hip hop, especially. That's what I'm a fan of. I'm trying to get other people. By the summer, I want to have other people on the show with me, discussing with me. They're gonna have different tastes, so they're gonna be able to introduce you to some other stuff. But I do want to talk about some of the performances and stuff that's gonna be going on this summer, because New York is such an ill spot for to have like free performances and outdoor performances and stuff like that, especially near the bridge and in Brooklyn and stuff like that. So it's gonna be cool. Look out for that. Another piece of news that really kind of irked me. A few weeks ago, we found out that Afrika Bambaataa, who is one of the godfathers of hip-hop, he really is. We found out that he's now being accused of male child molestation from years back, kind of like on the Cosby, kind of on a Cosby tip here, where a lot of people are coming out now saying they used to hang with him and his crew at his parties, and that he used to like. He was also the leader of the Zulu Nation. So what he would do is he would tell these kids, "Oh, you want to get down? You want to get down in the Zulu Nation? I gotta, do my thing on you." And, it's very serious. It's a very serious subject, and that's really sad to hear, because the whole hip hop community is always bowed down to somebody like Afrika Bambaataa. So I can guarantee you, even for me, especially for me, man, you're not going to see much bowing down much more after you hear things like that, because we're talking about human beings now. So not cool, bro. Not ill. Now, I don't mean to follow that with something even worse, but I did want to take the opportunity, because in my last video I gave a piece to I think it was the first video actually. I gave some peace and love and respect and a moment for my man Phife Dawg from the Zulu Nation, from the Tribe Called Quest. That's a dearly loved artist to me that we lost, and it hurts, and I feel like we're gonna feel it. And but we lost another one, and this one being Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince. That sign, whatever. God bless Prince and his family. Hope you had a safe trip up to heaven. And I just wanna take a moment to reflect upon his career, which was great. Honestly, being an 80s baby, I've been hearing Prince since I was a kid, but my real first introduction to Prince was definitely the Batman soundtrack. When I was a kid, the Batman movie to me was the shit, like the be all end all of art, and he did the whole soundtrack. So that was kind of cool, and just kind of it was one of those cool things where you're like, "Whoa, the songs all sound the same. Who did that?" It's, oh, that's Prince, you know. And oh, well, you just grew up knowing Prince was the guy who did the whole Batman soundtrack, but was also one of the kings of, if there were, it was a Knights of the Round Table of pop in the 80s, because that was when pop was at its highest. Um, Prince was up there. I mean, it was Michael Jackson and then Prince, you know. So what an icon! What an icon! He was sorely missed. He used to perform a lot. I almost had the chance to see him perform. He was supposed to perform at the City Winery, who I have a friend who works over there. Shout out to Sean Thing, or what up though. But you know, I heard he's performed there a few times, and it's a more intimate setting, and I've been there before, and just picturing like, oh, that would have been really awesome to see Prince perform there. So you know, you will be missed, Prince. You know, Purple Rain, baby, all day. And that'll really do it for this monthly review from iLList Videos. I'm your boy MF Pheezy. That's right. You can catch me on Twitter at PheezusChrist, Pheezuschrist. You know, and also you can catch me on Snapchat at MF Pheezy. And you can catch iLList Videos or iLList Media on Facebook and Twitter at iLList Media, ILLIST Media. So thanks for watching. If I can get back to a weekly review, if people want to see that, let me know. Anybody out there, even if just one person's like, yeah, please, like I would watch every week. I want to subscribe. I want to see you shoot the shit and just see, you know, say whatever you got to say about whatever's going on. I'll do it. You know, it's tough. I got a lot going on. I'm trying to do a lot of things. I'm busy. You know, I want to upgrade in certain ways, get better cameras, get more people, get a place to do this. I want to get legit, you know, and I know I got work to do. I know I'm not perfect, you know, in front of this camera. So any helpful advice anyone can give me, I'm with it. Just don't hate, you know. Other than that, it's been fun. Go see Civil War in theaters. Please do it. Do it. Just do it. You'll love it. It's awesome. I saw it in IMAX too. See it in IMAX. It's crazy. Anyway, peace and love. I'm out. I'm at Pheezy.